Welcome back, guys, to a new financial year. I apologize if I sound a bit funny. We have been sick for the first week of new financial year. Both myself and Jazz, which is starting to recover. So I apologize if I hack my lungs up during this video. But in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about our results from FY23-24. We're going to talk about some of our goals for this next financial year. And we're also going to show you a few things we've updated since the last time you guys were in the warehouse, including a little bit of a rehash of where everything is lying in the warehouse. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing is probably this financial year goal board. You'll see that it is blank at the moment. We will actually update that at the end of this video to show you what our plans are for this next financial year. We have some big ones. They are going to roll back a little bit from last year, but there are some new ones we want to add on there as well. Before I get into that though, let's show you what has changed around the warehouse. So in terms of racking, that's pretty much all the same, but you will notice that where our photo booths were, there is only one because the other two have gone upstairs. I'll show you that very shortly. We now have a book area and a DVD area here. This will probably condense over the next couple of months as we sort of niche down into some categories. We're not niching completely, but we're kind of removing like 4 or 5 categories from what we used to source because we have some new opportunities that we are working towards. So that's a work in progress. Eventually, I think we might get some pallet racking here, but that's something for the future. You guys probably would have seen this by now. This is our sorting area for bales. So we are doing some bales at the moment. We're wholesaling a little bit of that as well through one of our contacts. So that's going okay. Something that we're testing out to see if that's a long-term win for us or not. Come down this way to our mess. This is still our listing area. You can see I'm currently sorting through some CDs that we just got in, which is pretty cool. And then up the front, you guys might remember this wall here was all shelving, and now that's all bale stuff that's come in. So I'm trying to keep this front area nice and clean so I can bring pallets in and out as we go because I want to be able to shuffle stuff as much as possible around in there. And I'm going to show you the front room, which has changed quite a lot. So this is kind of our entryway, got a toilet, bathroom in there. This here is all stuff that needs to go to auction. So I've said a couple times now, we send stuff to auction, usually through auction rooms, and we try and get in there every second week, but sometimes they are just way too full. So this is definitely stacking up, and this all needs to go there in the next couple of weeks so we can get some space back in here. Let's head upstairs and show you what the photo room is looking like right now. All right, this is our new photo room. I'm gonna give Jazz a mic so you guys can actually hear what she's saying.
Hi, welcome to the photo room.
So this area was kind of, I don't know, part office, part storage, part kind of everything.
It was underutilized.
And now we've moved our main photo booth up here. So that was the one that was downstairs. We have a little photo booth here for like smalls, hats and all that sort of stuff. And we're still sort of working this all out. There will be a table here for this sort of stuff later. This here is more for like measuring.
Definitely measuring, bagging, anything I just want to dump there. And then I also have my mannequin in the corner. So I get to just switch between everything super seamlessly now.
Yeah, so the mannequin sits on this wall. We get the lights in to try and remove some of those shadows. I'm thinking of getting like a blackout curtain there to reduce the natural light that comes in.
Oh, that could be pretty good. Like on a sunny day, you don't need anything up here, no lights. It's just like good to go. But if it's like drizzly, rainy, it is the middle of winter right now, which is why we have colds.
Yeah.
Then it could be good to just block that off, light it up.
Should we talk about our results from the end of FY?
Probably a bit of context to all of this stuff that we do every day would probably be good.
Okay, so essentially I've done up this little plaque. This is a bit of a Instagram plaque, but you might want to hold it. So this is our results from FY 23-24.
Result.
I'm not sure how well you guys can see that, but essentially we turned over $757,744.81, which is pretty crazy. We did have a goal of $800,000, which we definitely would have hit if we hadn't lost Cara's store sort of 3-4 months ago.
There were big changes, and when changes happen, you got to change your goalposts.
Yeah, so we were probably tracking if that store was to stay on and Cara was to stay on for like 850, which would have blown away any of our goals. And we've worked really hard over the last sort of 3 to 4 months on our own to hit these numbers. And I'm pretty proud of our profit percentage. So we're about 30%. I do have to take out our returns. So let's say 28% net profit in pocket. That's essentially the money that goes to paying ourselves, obviously Cara and Dan when they were here. So I'm pretty happy with that result for 23-24. What do you feel about that?
It's like almost meaningless in a way, because I look at those numbers and I'm like, that's on its way to $1 million.
Yeah,
like,
3
what?
quarters, yeah. But it's definitely going to change this upcoming financial year, because obviously we don't have that other store that was contributing $150,000, $250,000 to the bottom line. So we have reset some goals, which I'm going to go downstairs and explain to you guys. And there are some new goals within that as well.
Yeah, all of these numbers, they're just numbers on a board without context. But I think for what we set out to achieve and all the changes we had, and then what we actually achieved, we are flippin' stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. So 757 this year, which is probably our highest financial year turnover. I think we did very similar like year to year last year, but not financial year. So pretty happy with that.
I think what's exciting is how much smoother the processes are getting to get to these numbers.
Yeah, I'll definitely speak a little bit about that downstairs as well. So let's head back down there and talk about our goals for next financial year. Well, this financial year now.
This financial year, it's happening.
All right, we have our goal board set up for this year. I've kind of broken it down a little bit different than normal. I've broken it down by revenue stream. So I've got eBay Store 1, which is obviously the main store. I've got eBay Store 2, which is our DVD store. eBay Store 3, which is the trash to travel. This is our auctions tab for those items that should be going to auction. We have a wholesale tab, and then a little bit of an other, whether we sell at a market or, I don't know, Facebook Marketplace or something like that. So as you guys saw for last financial year, we did $757,000, but there are some significant changes to that. Obviously, we don't have that extra eBay store that was bringing in quite a lot. So we have pulled back on our goals this year because we have less overheads as well, because we're not paying 2 extra full-time employees as well. We have employed a VA, which is something that we will talk about in another video, because I think that has been a game changer for us, and we're really excited how that's been working out and the freedom that that has allowed us to sort of try other things. So that's probably next video. And we still have a shipper that comes in on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Praven has been doing great stuff for us on those days, which has been fantastic. Thank you, Praven. So let's get into these goals. So overall, for FY 24-25, we want to turn over $600,000, which sounds like a lot, but it also sounds like a big decrease from last year. eBay Store 1 is obviously our main revenue stream, and we're going to try and do $480,000 from that store. I think we did about $473,000 from the main this last financial year, so 480 is probably not too much of a stretch on that one. eBay Store 2, which is the DVD store, we haven't been putting enough time into that lately, but I do want to get back into that and spend some more time refining that. We're going to be doing some CDs in that store probably, so keeping it very much media. We want to do $50,000 on that store. I think that's pretty achievable. Obviously we'll have to continue to put some stuff in there, but I think that's manageable. eBay Store 3, I think for about the 6-month period, we've done about 5. So I'm just gonna double that and do 10,000 on that one. Now, obviously I'd love that to be 30,000, because that would get us all the way around Australia. Well, probably not once you take out fees and all that, but we'll stick with 10 and we'll just see where that goes, because again, trying to spend time on that has been quite difficult. Now, this is where things start getting interesting. So auctions. We want to do $10,000 in sales and auctions, so that's about $1,000 every sort of month. And that's super dependent on us actually being able to get stock into auctions. So we'll put 10,000 there. Excuse the dodgy handwriting. Now, this is one section that we are looking to get into a bit more this year, and that's wholesale. Now, we are currently doing those bales, very small basis. We are doing some stuff with the DVDs that we get on a pallet, but we are looking to increase that, and we want to add some additions to that stream this year. We know that Australia's biggest struggle for most resellers is finding stock. So we want to try and solve that problem for you guys. So we have a baseline goal within wholesale of 50 grand this year, which I think that's a bit of a stretch, to be honest, but you never know. And then for a bit of fun, we're just going to put $1,000 in other. So really it's 601,000, but you get the gist. So what that boils down to is, I've got my handy little calculator here. We have to be doing $11,538.46 per week and $46,153 for every 4-week period. So I track weekly and then 4 weekly rather than weekly and monthly just because that makes my calculation a lot easier. So we need 46,153.84. Give you guys a bit more of a close up of that. So 600,000 is our yearly goal, 480 on the eBay store one, 50,000 on the eBay store two, 10,000 three, 10,000 auctions, 50 grand in wholesale, which I don't know if we're going to hit that, but you know, you got to have some stretch goals, and $1,000 in other. We have that weekly goal of 11,538 and the 4 weekly goal of 46,153. And what we're going to do along here is we're going to track the 13 4-week periods and see if we hit them. And then along here, we're going to track against each of these how much money we've actually done. So week 1 is actually done. So what I might do is update this board and show you how we're going to use this. And maybe you can build something like this for yourself. I think it's a really great way of tracking where you are. And even if it's just like a daily listed versus sale board or something like that, this has been super helpful for us to get that motivation to make sure we're hitting those goals. So just off camera, I've actually updated this week's targets. So we've already had 1 week in the financial year. So I'll show you them on the board and explain to you what all these numbers actually mean. So as you can see, we have that goal of $600,000. Our main store for week 1 did $12,613.84, which is great. That definitely gonna hit our goal. Our DVD store was a little bit lower. We'd need about $900 and something in there a week to hit that. We didn't actually sell anything on eBay Store 3, Trash to Travel, probably because we haven't been out thrifting because we've been very sick and there's only like 20 items on there. Auctions, nothing's gone through yet. We did sell a little bit of wholesale, 650, and we did do a little bit of a local sale for 110 as well. So that one is green. And then what I'm going to do is I'll probably add some more columns here, track it every week and every sort of 4 week as well. That way I can kind of tell at any given point in time if we need to be putting more effort into one space or if we can kind of continue at the rates we're doing. It just kind of makes everything super easy to see in one place. And while we're talking about tracking and having everything in one place, I did want to let you guys know that the spreadsheet is back out this year. There is a GST version and a non-GST version, and that's essentially how we track all our numbers. Ours is a little bit more complex because we have multiple stores, so we have multiple tabs that we update and amend each and every week. But apart from that, this is pretty much identical to what you guys will get in the reseller spreadsheet. Links are in the description as well if you guys want to jump on that. It is a $15 minimum with a pay what you feel option. So thanks for being here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I think we're going to talk a little bit about how we've hired a VA in the last couple of weeks, probably in next week's video, because that has really been a game changer for us. It has opened up a bit more time for us to be outsourcing, finding better stock so that we can actually sell better quality stock on eBay rather than just relying on that sort of bread and butter. So I'll probably do a VA video next week, how we've hired them, how much it's cost us, all those sort of intricate details. I know there's been quite a bit of talk about it lately in the community, so I think that'll be a great little chat for us to have next week. I do want to thank you for being here. I want to hear what your guys' 24, 25 FY goals are, so drop them in the comments below. I'd love to see what some of those high-end goals are and how you're going to hit them this year. So thanks for being here, and we'll catch you next time on Aussie Thrifters. Bye for now.